Welcome back to Andertons TV. I am joined today by my son, according to a recent DNA test. It's Digital John.
Digital John.
Right. We have talked many times, haven't we, John?
Yep.
About Kempers versus the Neural Quad Cortex versus the Helix. I guess 3 of the 4, I suppose,
big boys.
Accepted big boys. There's no fractal audio here. Fractal audio don't sell. I always say that wrong. It's fractal, isn't it? Not fractual. They don't sell through retail. So if you're interested in one of those, you have to check them out somewhere else. Yeah. But these are the 3 big guns of the last 2 or 3 years. But I've always struggled with this idea of how do we compare them without necessarily sort of accusations of, oh, you know, you did the model wrong, or the capture wrong, or you didn't program that right, and blah 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 blah. So we decided to ask a chap called the Tone Junkie, who has a YouTube channel and a store and a quite a long history of making patches for these 3 devices, amongst other things. So I asked him to take 3 amplifiers, a Fender, a Marshall, and a Soldano, and using the same room, same mics, same everything, do a profile on the Kemper, a capture on the Quad Cortex, and then just program the Helix to sound as close as he possibly could. I'll put details in the description below about what amps they were and what microphones he used and all that kind of stuff. But for now, we've basically got a Fender, a Marshall, a Plexi Marshall, and an SLO-100 from Soldano on the 3 devices. We don't know in the room. John and I don't know which is which. So we've got a 3-way switcher on the floor, but Oz and Pete have plugged this all in and randomized it, so we don't know which is which. Pete's done an amazing job of the Kemper here of covering up the one visual indicator that will give away whether or not we're hearing the Kemper, which is the little kind of input and output lights and stuff. So we can't see those. That's why we've blacked that bit out. And we're going to go through the 3. We've got a tube screamer on the floor that we can plug into the front of them. We're just hearing it through our studio monitors here. So same as what you're hearing, basically, if you had a pair of studio monitors in your setup. And I don't really, what's the idea? The idea is not to go, I think that's the Kemper, or I think that's the Helix, or the Quad Cortex. I think it's just to get to the end of each one and go, which was your favorite?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, they are all great units, and I'm going to be as on the fence as I can be.
Yeah, but, look, man, there is, yes, definitely, the last 18 months or so, Quad Cortex has been, it's the newest one, it's the biggest selling one, but there is an army, a legion of professional guitar players using Kempers and Helixes as well. So, but as I said, so this is Tone Junkie. Thank you very much, Tone Junkie. He did all this for free, basically, as a favor for us. So at the very least, I should plug his website in the links below, where, again, if you own one of these devices, you can go and get advice about using them and download patches that he's made. So, John, I'm going to turn the tuner off. We're going to start with the green one. We don't know which is which. Hopefully you can see this green Lella switcher. Sorry, the red Lella switcher. We've got a green light, a red light, and a blue light. And we'll see which is which. Let's have
we ready?
Big G chord, Mr. John. On that point, I should say, of course, the reverbs that you're hearing on these are not part of the profile capture process. No. They are reverbs that Tone Junkie added from whatever Kemper and QC had, and obviously Helix.
So he's tweaked them to make them sound similar as well. So anyway, G chord again. Pleasant, very pleasant.
Straight to the next one.
It's got a bit more drive.
A bit more crispiness. Want to go back to the first one again, or just
back to A?
Or should we go for all three?
Let's do
all three.
I'm going to call it C.
Okay.
Bright. I've got my initial thoughts
already. I want you guys to play along. I think for consistency here, we will use green for the first one, red for the second one, and blue for the third one. So when we've got text maybe on screen and we're talking about which one, that's what you've got to remember colours-wise. Wowzers. Let's just go through that again, because they are. Do you know what? Given that they're the same amp on the same settings being captured on the Kemper and the QC, appreciate the Helix is always Helix. If you're not familiar, doesn't have this sense of profiling that the other two have. It's just you would have to find an algorithm within the Helix of a Fender Deluxe Reverb, and then tweak what's available to you within there. So it'll be all elements of EQ, I imagine, and sagging and all that kind of stuff.
The closest thing you could probably get is an impulse response that you've custom made and load it in for the cab section.
So you can put an input. Okay.
You can get third-party IRs for the Helix, and that's probably the closest you could get. I don't actually know how he set the Helix one up, but I trust Tone Junkie and his tone wizardry.
Isn't that an impulse response? That little pink.
I think so. Scroll
line.
over.
Yeah, it has. So he's put the
impulse
impulse response of the. Let's just exit out of there. I don't know how to do that. It's that one, isn't it? Okay.
Cool.
Let's just go through them again, and then I'm going to try it with my guitar. So, what are you feeling? Are you feeling any sense of, I don't know, one got more latency than the other, or more range, or?
The first thing was the amount of bright. So it literally goes brighter as we go through them nicely. So darker to bright. It's not like A is dark at all. But B.
Way more gain on B.
Yeah, a bit more hair on it as well. And
way more top end.
Yeah, very bright. But
a lot of compression on A as well, I think.
Yep. Yeah, there's something about A, compressed, like narrower frequencies, and like it's just a bit more. It's not as dynamic, but I don't know whether it's a bad thing. I quite like the compression of it.
Let me try. You guys have to comment, okay? I wish there was a way in that we could see the time of the video where you commented, so we can know which of you are just getting to the end and then going, I knew it all along. Anyway. Quite a clangy reverb.
Yeah. I didn't think about that, yeah. Okay.
Different reverb. Very bright, that last. Okay.
Humbucker's made that one.
Yeah, but.
Have you got a verdict at the minute?
Blue here is the one that sounds least realistic to me. Or maybe not sounds, feels least realistic to play, maybe. It's very bright, very... The reverb's very, very bright. I'm surprised between A and B. Well, I don't know which one's A and B are. actually just captured more gain, B. Again, whichever one this is. Do I have a favourite?
I quite like the warmth of B.
We're going so that we can't influence each other.
Okay.
We're just doing like a rock, paper, scissors, stone, and it's like if it's one finger, it's A, two is B, three is C.
Okay, so
it's 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh.
There we go.
Okay. And honestly, I'm going to say this. We're splitting hairs between 2 and 1, and wasn't a huge fan of number 3. I wonder which one that will be. Which phone call will I be fielding tomorrow from an angry supplier?
I mean, I've got an idea of which ones are which at the minute.
I'm going Tube Screamer in as well.
I'm interested to try the rest of the patches because
I'm going Tube Screamer with just a.
Save your predictions until the end.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to try and guess which is which. I wouldn't know. It's just reinforced my. Do you want to?
Yeah, on the Les Paul.
Well, you can use whichever one you want, but
something darker.
I'll leave the right pedal on. Here we go. 1.
Yeah, there's definitely more of the fizz on the top, but and my prediction I'll talk about later. I think that's why I think it's the one it is.
Well, okay.
I think that made sense.
I mean, we should say as well, you have owned a Helix and a QC, haven't you? So the only one you haven't owned is the Kemper, right?
Well, Pete, thankfully, very nicely of him, let me the other two, apart from the QC. So I've had time with all of them. Yeah.
Fine. Okay, right. So there you go. Vote. First round of voting. Second round now. We are going to go for this idea of this Marshall Plexi in a sort of an overdriven vibe. So do you want to just get the QC on there?
Yep. Do a nice ballet. There we go.
Ooh. Okay, so again, same amplifier, same settings, and then trying to basically get the Helix to sound like it. Go back to your Chapman ML3 in that fine and dandy silver colour. No Tube Screamer, back it into A again. So we're not messing these up. So A is always going to be, A, B, C are always going to be the same unit.
Yeah, B.
Next one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, with this patch, there's way less of a difference
Yes,
sonically between
agreed.
those. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty. Yeah.
Wow. Let me have the.
Yeah.
They
They're all
are
great.
very similar, aren't they, this time round?
I enjoyed all of those.
Or are they? Wow. It's quite strange that on this particular preset, A is much punchier, but not necessarily in a terribly pleasant way to listen to. Like if you sort of...
Yeah.
I mean, that's had the reverb mix. So, because we don't know which is which, I don't know which one to go to. I would like to turn the reverb down on B, but I can't.
Yeah, A
Avec.
has like a compression, but it doesn't give the thump of the note through. It's like all the same volume. If you go on
A
B,
bit spiky again,
it
isn't
has
it?
like a thump to the front of it. Same with that one. But then
Okay,
on that,
I'm going Tube Screamer.
Okay.
Grab it.
I love that one.
That's really weird because now what's happened is I'm finding A, is it A red? I forget now. No, green, sorry, is taking on that sort of slightly unpleasant spiky characteristic that on the Fender patch C did.
C had, yeah.
And now I've got B and C, or 2 and 3, sounding almost imperceptible. Anyway, you have a little play with the Tube
I think
Screamer.
with this Tube Screamer, I really like C now.
Wow, keep playing on C.
I really like C.
I think. Keep playing.
That, you know that Marshall like fizzy stuff? I've said fizz far too much, but C has
keep
that.
A has just got no balls, has it, anymore?
It's too squashed for me. I'm trying not to look if like they have compression or anything dialed in. Again, he dialed the patches in.
Yeah, I was about to say the whole point of Plectrum ran away. The whole point of asking Tone Junkie to do this was to
Eliminate bias.
eliminate bias, and also eliminate blame as well from either John
yeah.
or I or anyone at Andertons.
I mean, I'm not blaming Tone Junkie. I mean, like, you know, I know he's good at what he does. So.
Ready?
Favourite sound?
Yeah.
Oh, that was difficult. 3.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah, what was
right.
that from?
Okay. Now we're going with SLO-100
Yeah.
OD.
Lots of range.
Good test.
Yeah. Nice. Okay.
Man. Just go through that again for me, because they all sound, I don't know if this is the one where the 3 are the most similar, or if it's just that they all sound very authentic, so it's just making it more difficult. Anyway, just play again.
The darkest one for sure. that's got like a clack to it that I quite like.
Do you want Tube Screamer in? And then I'll have a play.
Yeah.
Have a little.
There you go.
Man, I have no idea about. I mean, I don't know. What's my favourite? I don't know. I think there is one, but it's marginal. I've put the Tube Screamer on, everyone.
That nice squeal there.
Thank you, son. Okay, this is super marginal.
I've really enjoyed this.
But are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Have we chosen the same amp
Peace.
every single time? I think we've chosen the same amp. Okay, now we're going to do the big reveal. I hope you guys have written what you think. What was your favourite for the Fender sound, the Marshall sound, and the Soldano sound? So just to recap.
Wait, model joke.
Even I've been Cortex. Imagine that. Imagine if you were a capture of the original of my actual son, and you're just here as a
Well,
a
there's the
virtual,
conspiracy. Yeah.
Hey, neural. Right. So for the Fender, we both chose B.
Yep, we were B.
For the Marshall, we both chose C.
Number 3.
And for the Soldano, we both went back to B
Back
again.
to B.
Okay.
BCB.
So, please, Oswaldo, would you give us the big reveal? Maybe we'll just blat it on screen right now. But what was A?
Helix.
Okay, interesting.
Okay, yeah.
What was B?
QC.
And therefore C is Kemper.
Kemper. Right.
So, interesting. So we're obviously leaning towards profiles and captures over modelling.
Factory made.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know that any of that.
Hand on
Does
heart,
that
I can
surprise
say some days I would probably choose between any of them on a given gig. 100%.
Yeah. Let's be fair. If you're touring and you're in a band and you have any one of the three and you've spent a bit of time tweaking it, they're all highly usable, aren't they?
And anyone could dial any of these in and you could prefer any of them to any of them. And I'm sure, we'd prefer the QC on one day, Helix on one, and it goes like that. But yeah, that was fun. That
was interesting, wasn't it? I mean, Kemper always amazes me, given that, the operating system, sorry, not the operating system, but the hardware inside the Kemper is borderline prehistoric now. I think as a technology product goes, the fact that this is the same hardware today as was in the original one, and it's just the operating system that they've kept updating, is kind of amazing. of course, when you're coming to make a decision about what you would like to buy, I'm sure there are lots of other factors that you'll take into account, from its size and what the effects are and how easy you feel the operating system is to use, and price. They're all a similar kind of price, but there is probably £400 or £500 difference between the Helix, which will be the cheapest one, and the QC, which will be the dearest one. Yeah. Hey ho. It's interesting that we were kind of, by and large, choosing the same sounds every time. So there's obviously something in it. But look, I can't wait to see the comments section to see.
It's going to be a controversial
and by the way,
one.
if you own one of these already, you have to declare that in your comment, because of course, that's what
that would be
everyone
interesting.
will just say, I like the Helix
Then we can
best,
see your bias.
but, brackets, because I own one.
Yeah.
There you are. Links below to purchase any one of these 3 fine and dandy products from Andertons. Yes, I don't know if there's anything else to tell you really now. I don't think so. Thank you very much for coming down, son.
Thank you very much.
And we shall see you in another video soon.